Hey guys, welcome back and thank you so much for watching. Today I'm doing a very highly requested video. I'm going to be sharing with you how I do my DIY at-home brow tinting. So this is the final result. I will be using the Just for Men Mustache and Beard dye. I have mine in the color dark brown. This comes in, I believe, 8 colors, at least on the Target website. It comes in 8 colors and it is $10.99. So I'm using that. And then I also am using some Vaseline, and then just an angled eyeliner or an angled brow brush will work just fine. I'll show you which one I'm using when we get started with the video. I have been doing this for years and I absolutely love it. It's one of those beauty treatments or self-care type things that I just absolutely love to do. I try to do it every couple weeks. Realistically, that doesn't always happen, but I love having my brows tinted. It just helps reduce the time it takes to fill in my eyebrows, to do my eyebrows. I just absolutely love the results. It's super easy to do, as you're gonna see. So I think that's everything I needed to say. I cover a lot of stuff in the video, as you'll see here. But if you do have any other questions or anything you need to ask me, just go ahead and leave those in the comments down below and I'll definitely get back to you. So let's go ahead and jump in and I'll show you exactly how I do my eyebrows at home. So let's get started. I have clean skin. I just have my moisturizer, my sunscreen on, and I'm just gonna take this wash towel, and I got a little corner of it wet. I'm just gonna wipe off the brow area because I did get a little bit of my sunscreen in my brows, and you just want to start with clean skin so the dye can attach onto everything, the skin and the hairs, of course. And then you're gonna take some Vaseline and a Q-tip and just dip that in there and get a little bit of the product on there, just a little bit, not too much. And then we're just going to outline the brows. This is going to act as a skin barrier so the dye does not get on, basically so we don't color outside the lines. So just apply that all around the brow. This is not necessary. I just find that it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to be as precise when you go in with the actual dye, because this, when you put this down, the dye will not dye the skin where the Vaseline is. Next, I'm going to take my Just for Men beard and mustache dye, and it comes with this little plastic tray, which I'm going to use. And basically there's 2 products that we're just going to mix together. We have this one here. This is the color base, and then also the natural color developer. So I'm gonna mix equal parts of these together in the tray, and a little bit goes a long way. So don't waste your product. You don't need very much at all. I will just take it and do that much, like that's all you need. And then the same amount of the developer, about, you don't have to be exactly precise, just about, just eyeball it. Oh, and I have mine in the color dark brown because I like my brows to be dark, and it does fade over a couple weeks. So I would recommend going a shade darker. If you're a little bit nervous, you could go lighter, but I don't think you'd be disappointed if you did choose a darker shade. I mean, I'm blonde and a dark brown works fine, as you'll see. Looks a little crazy when we apply it, but, and then I'm gonna take this angled liner brush. This is Line Perfector E68 from Sigma. It looks like that, and it's just perfect. Just use any angled brush that you have that you like the control of, that you can get a good application of brow product with. Use that. So I'm gonna take these 2 and just mix them up together with the brush. You could, I actually usually do this with a Q-tip, just because the brush kind of gets overloaded and it kind of, it's just easier to do with a Q-tip. So do it with a Q-tip. See how the brush kind of got overloaded. I just need to wipe that off now. And then I'm just gonna start taking it and dipping the brush with the product that it's all mixed up, and I'm just gonna paint that on my eyebrows. Now this will stain the skin for a few days, which I love the look that it gives when it stains the skin, because it just gives the look of a fuller brow. So just put it wherever you're comfortable with. I like to overdo mine a little bit just because I know it will fade. So if you mess it up, it's not the end of the world. You just want to make sure you do get all your hairs covered. Start on the other side and you'll see this start to develop. So you want to work somewhat quickly just so you can rinse them at the same time, so they're both equally developed. But also take your time because you don't want to mess it up. What am I saying? I like to kind of take it on the front and go up like that just to make sure all those hairs are coated. So I'm getting a little sloppy here, so I'm gonna go in with a Q-tip and just wipe that up because I don't want it to stain the skin up there. The Vaseline that we applied will help that to not stain the skin. It's really easy to clean up with that Vaseline. It helps it just slide off a lot easier. And then I just like to fuss a little bit and go in and just make sure they're saturated. Make sure the skin is all covered underneath the brow hairs. So it will get that nice full brow look that does, like I said, unfortunately fades after a few days. I see some spots that I missed over here. And you can see it start to develop and it looks like a yellowish green color, but don't be alarmed. That's just how it looks in the process. Just gonna take another Q-tip and just kind of clean up a little bit before it processes more. And now you just let them sit and process and marinate. Let me read the instructions because I just usually let them sit for about 10 to 15 minutes because I like them to get really, really dark. But if it's your first time doing it, you can follow the instructions. Okay, so it says to wait only 5 minutes or a bit less to prevent color from going too dark. But like I said, I like my color to be very dark, so I'm gonna break the rules and do what I want. Actually, you know what? While that's processing, I just wanted to mention this new light that I got. Looks like this. It comes with a tripod, and I just set it right down here on my table because it just helps project more balanced light. Hopefully the quality of my videos will be a little bit better because of it. This was sent to me to review, so this is my little mini review. And it's great for photography, for video. I've just been really loving it to just balance out the light. Let me turn it off and you'll see there's more of a shadow right here. See how that is just more of a shadow? Because I do sit in front of a big window, but I sit at an angle. So there's more natural light on this side. And so this just helps really balance it out. And I've just been really loving it. I just want to share it with you. It's great. I also use it when I crochet. I just bring it out to the living room, set it on a side table. It's just nice to have extra light. I just really wanted to mention it in case you're interested. I will link it down below. It is available on Amazon. Let me just show you how that's starting to darken and develop. Looking good. So at this time, I like to go ahead and go into my bathroom and rinse out my tray and my brush because you don't want to stain your brush if you are going to use it for other purposes. And it will stain. So I'll be back. I'm gonna go do that and I'll be back and show you the next step. All right, it's been about 5 more minutes and this is what they're looking like. They're getting very, very dark. So this is why you wanna apply that Vaseline as a barrier and why you want to be somewhat careful when you're applying the dye, because it will stain the skin that doesn't have the Vaseline on there and that you kind of color outside of the lines. So you want to be careful, but because you put the Vaseline down, you don't have to be too careful, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them sit for another 5 minutes because I like them to be super, super dark. But I just wanted to chat with you guys while we're waiting for them to fully develop. So how long do these last? Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I think I'd mentioned it, it does stain the skin, as you'll see when I remove it, and the staining of the skin lasts for about 2 to 3 days, and then it will start to fade, and then you'll just be left with the brow hairs that are dyed. And for me, that lasts about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. It just depends on how much I clean my brows, like if I avoid the brow areas, because when you're using your skincare products, like for me, I use toner, I use hydroquinone, and if I get it in the brow area accidentally, then it will unfortunately fade the brows, the tinting that we did. So it will fade it a little bit faster. So it just really depends on what you use as your skincare, but I would say probably a week to 2 weeks it will stain the brow hairs. And there is another product that's a newer product. This is from Ardell. This is the brow tint, and I have mine in the shade medium brown. Now I have not used this one yet, but I will be testing it out, and then I was gonna do kind of a roundup. I can hear my girls outside. A roundup and reviewing both of these like together, which one is better and all that kind of stuff. So be on the lookout for that in the next couple weeks. Next time I tint my eyebrows at home, I will use this one just to see which one's better. My hypothesis is that this will work just as well as this one does. It's just a matter of price and a matter of color selection. This one, let me look it up. It actually has quite a few colors to choose from, 8 colors to choose from, whereas this one, there's only 4 colors to choose from. And I believe this one was $14.99 and the Just for Men is $10.99. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes, give or take a few, since I originally applied the brow dye. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it off now. It looks really scary, but trust me, it's gonna be great. My little girls are playing right outside my window, and I have my windows open because it's a beautiful, almost fall day while I film this, so hopefully they're not too loud. But basically, I just wet that same towel that I used, and I'm just gonna take them off, and I will go to my bathroom and rinse them further with water. But I just wanted to show you how it's gonna look right away. So I'm just gonna take the wet part, and basically I'm just gonna wipe it off, go to a different part of the towel, keep wiping, and then I will go in and I will rinse this towel before it really will stain it too much. So that's basically how they're looking so far. I'm gonna go just make sure the product is all rinsed off so there's no more dye, and I'll be right back. All right, so this is what they look like. I just made sure all the product was removed. I rinsed them a little bit with some water, and so this is what they look like. I do have a spot right there where it just kind of got a little bit saturated, so that will fade. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. And for me personally, on most days, I will go ahead and apply a little bit of a brow gel just for some extra volume and to make my brows kind of fluff up a little bit. That's just the look that I like with my brows. I do have a scar over here that is just, it never takes the dye very well. So just to kind of balance that out and make them a little bit fuller looking. That is how I do it, you guys. That's how I tint my eyebrows at home. I love doing this. I just feel like the brows just frame your face so much, and it just makes it so when you go in with your brow application, you know, you just don't have to do a whole lot. You don't have to fuss with it too much, and it just is great for mask wearing when you have your brows done. And for me, I love my eyelash extensions that I talk about all the time. They're at-home eyelash extensions. I do them myself about once a week. I will be doing a video on that as well, so stay tuned. That's what they look like. So yeah, I'm gonna put on a little bit of makeup and I'll be right back to wrap up this video. All right, so I did a little bit of makeup. I just did my mommy makeup routine, very minimal makeup. And yeah, I just wanted to wrap up the video. That is how I dye my eyebrows at home. I just love doing this. I love the results. It's super easy to do. There's really no reason not to do it. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm more than happy to try to answer those the best I can. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing before you go. I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. And thank you guys, as always, so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.